Okay. So Todd, you're going to be going through a bit of a existential crisis for the next little, well, pretty much the entire year. Actually, kind of still continues on to what we have today. What we had last week was essentially the beginning of the questions that you start asking, and important questions that still have remained unanswered until today. And that's fine, that's okay. And that's the one thing I do want you to realize, that things will be okay if you don't have that direction, let's say. But just by asking these questions, what do you want to be, who are you, that kind of stuff, that's at least pushing you into the right direction of change. Eventually. You don't have to be there right now. But at least one thing I've realized is that you're not alone. Nobody is alone in not knowing what they're doing, where they're going, or what they want to do with the rest of their lives. That's okay, right? The one thing I want everyone to know, and especially you, Todd, is that being without that direction doesn't mean you're not happy. What it really comes down to in the end is you have your passions, you have your interests, and then you have work. And in an ideal world, they all align. But we don't all live in an ideal world. What I do for my 9 to 5 pays my bills, gives me a roof over my head, and that still allows me to pursue these other interests and passions that I have outside of work. The problem I have at my age now, I suppose, is that making that alignment and forcing it just isn't as feasible as it was, say, when I was 20. If I were to pursue my current passions and interests, financially, that may just kind of spell doom for me right now, just because of the position I'm in and the opportunities that they would afford. If I were pursuing my passions and my interests, my enjoyment of my work would increase exponentially, obviously. But unfortunately, because of the financial viability of it, that would certainly affect my home life. And I guess I've kind of grown accustomed to having a comfortable couch, having internet access, and all the wonders of technology and comfort that we have nowadays. And breaking into the world of artisanal cheesemaking or independent comic book publishing, or even audio engineering, are very difficult, especially at my age. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask myself now is, am I valuing money and security over passion and happiness at work? And it's easy to look at it from both perspectives, but it's difficult to find that balance between, because I don't think it's one or the other. On one hand, having a secure administrative job that I've been doing right now will afford me an opportunity to have RSPs, a retirement potentially, depending on the economy, of course, and doing something that I may be mildly interesting, but it may not drive me as much as others. And of course, going into retirement, I will be able to kind of relax a bit, as opposed to pursuing my more financially questionable interests. It may prove to be lucrative eventually, but the likelihood is very little, and I'm not really willing to take that chance just yet. Because on the bottom line, when I go to bed at the end of the day, I'm happy. I've got a lovely wife, I've got a comfortable home, I've got a job that pays the bills, and it's not driving me insane, it's just a little bit taxing sometimes, and that's okay. And although my passions and interests have changed over time, from the time I was 5 years old, 20, and 40, which I'm going to be pretty soon, the one thing that still drives me and sustains me, no matter what job I've had, no matter what employer I've had, no matter what relationships and friends I've had, is that in the end, I just want to help people. I just want everyone to be happy. And that could be the difference between getting that report from my manager, or driving a friend to the airport, or going to see my mom. And when the end comes, as it inevitably does, I don't want to stand there at the pearly gates saying, gee, I really wish I put in more hours at work. That's not the case. I really would say that I wish I could have helped more people. I wish I could have made people more happy, whether it's through charity or community service. And before it gets to that end, I still have time to make that change. So that's going to be your focus, Todd, going forward from here on in. How do you make the world a better place? That should be your goal. That should be what you do for the rest of your life.